Okay, here we go.
So episode 7, part 3. We're going to start off discussing Abrego Garcia, who is still in El Salvador, and the Congressman Chris Van Hollen, who went down to visit him, which
At the prison.
at the prison CCOT.
Yeah.
The most positive thing is that we weren't sure if he was still alive, and he may have helped save his life, honestly, by making that visit. But apart from that, it was a very odd thing that happened. One of the more bizarre things is apparently the people in El Salvador at one point put some glasses in front of the two of them with salt around the rims and whatnot to make it look like they'd been having margaritas, but they had never touched the glasses, and there was no alcohol in the glasses, and it was all for show, and it was a very interesting presentation of things. But since his return, the senator has repeatedly made the claim that it's not that he's defending anything that Abrego might or might not have done, but he needs his constitutional rights, because those who didn't already realize, due process applies to anyone on U.S. soil or any U.S. citizen away from U.S. soil. Partly because if you want to say that it doesn't apply to somebody who isn't a U.S. citizen, well, how do you know that they're not a U.S. citizen? Right. If they don't have enough due process to prove or disprove that statement alone.
It has to be for everyone, otherwise it doesn't exist.
Right.
Period.
Yeah.
It's that simple. What is the name of the president
of El Salvador? That I don't.
Yeah, this dude. Anyways, I'm horrible with names. I know the guy and I know the background of all this shit, but he's basically a fucking dictator that we propped up in there. This is another one of these stories about, democratically held election or democracy completely failing because we go in and intervene and fuck shit up for a country. And allegedly they had a fucking election last time and he won by 80%. Nobody wins by 80% in any fucking country ever.
Nayib Bukele.
Yeah, Bukele. So yeah, this dude is a fucking just another fascist dictator. U.S. capitalist fucking.
Well, and he apparently has made the claim that he won't release Abrego, but a large number of people are basically saying that Trump is paying to keep him there. So,
well, and he's just continuing the same bullshit lie narrative that the guy is, he's saying the same exact thing that press secretary is saying. Well, we don't release gang members. He's not a gang member. It's been proven he's not a gang member. They said that there was somebody who arrested him for potentially being one in New York, and the dude lived where? If he fucking lives in Maine, where the fuck does this guy live? Like, he doesn't even live in that state.
Yeah.
Like, fuck me, man.
But what blows me that I don't know why it didn't hit me earlier, but if they had any real proof that he did anything, they would present it. They don't have anything.
No, there is no proof because he had a tattoo, and then they showed a fake picture. Trump literally went on TV and showed a fake hand with fake tattoos. Those aren't his tattoos, and they showed pictures of them.
But even if they were, what does that prove? It doesn't prove anything.
Right, and even if they were,
at most,
first of all, even if he had the tattoos, that's not a criminal
offense. Yeah.
Offense. Look, Hagsworth. He's got fucking tattoos that are fucking like basically
neo-Nazi.
Neo-Nazis and Christian like fascist tattoos, and the guy is a gang member in a sense when you're a freaking KKK dude. Like, look, he is releasing guys that are known gang members of these white supremacist groups that have been arrested for violent actions, and he pardoned them. The dude with the T-shirt about Camp Auschwitz, that dude got released.
And a lot of these guys, after they've been released, they've gone on and
got arrested
again for
like a month or two.
Yeah.
You're fucking up already. Like, these guys are violent. So the audacity, this is the kind of shit we're fucking talking about. We're gonna arrest these guys because they're alleged gang members because of tattoos. When you are releasing guys who are proven gang members, but you're not gonna get due process to another guy because. If you can't see what is going on here, I can't help you. I can't help anybody. Like, is so outrageous. This is so infuriating. It makes me sick. It makes me utterly sick and ill that people are not just screaming in the fucking streets right now. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, seriously.
And this
the
is
more I think about it,
yeah.
the more
and this is the specific case that the U.S. Supreme Court has said, no, the administration has to do something that they are still refusing to do.
Right,
So,
and once again, this goes back to them disobeying the courts. There's no separation. Where's this going? And this is the thing. And we talked about, I believe we talked about this already, that he's talking about not only sending, these people that he's saying are here illegally, or then they're criminals and they're in gangs, but homegrown, like people from America, the U.S. And this all goes back to what happened in Germany. Those camps, those concentration camps, the vast majority of them were in Poland and other places. They weren't in Germany, So we're just, this is it's just going down that road, And somebody had this great TikTok that I saw today. I think it was this morning. She was talking about, I forgot the phrase she used, but basically exponential growth, where like if there's a lily pad in a pond, and then there's, after like 20, 30 days, it's only like it starts off with 1%. And then 2, then 4, then 8, 16. But when it gets to the end, to occupy the whole thing, it only takes like 4 days, and then it's all done. So it's a little bit of a buildup, but then when it totally cascades, it's over, and there's nothing you can do about it at the final stages. Man, we're like getting to the freaking quarter of the exponential growth. It's like already at like the 8th. We're already at 8. Like, let's stop now before it's too late, man. This shit's gonna happen so fucking fast. And so fucking vicious and ferocious at the end that no one's gonna know what the fuck happened.
Yeah. I mean, and everything that we thought we would see that people are like, oh, you're just being overly dramatic, we're starting to see. Some of it,
Right.
I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that stock market is not going to come up for years at this point. I mean,
well, and I've had this discussion before. Everybody wants to talk about the economy. Fuck the economy right now. Like, yes, it's a problem.
but in some ways, that's the least of our concerns.
This shit can be fixed. Like, like fascism is
right. The economy is going to come back eventually.
Yeah,
our rights are not so much.
Like your rights, your human rights. Like, this has never been about fucking economics. There's plenty of shit for everybody in this fucking globe right now. It's there. It's just the will. Do we want to what do we want to do about it? Nobody should be working. Like, all this technology, all these advancements, everything that we've fucking done to get to this point where we could easily have like a 2-3 day work week and people could just fucking hang out and do shit they like to do. But they won't do that. They just won't fucking do it. They won't do it. They want you fucking working. They want you a slave to the system. They want to have control and power over you. Because there's no reason for any of this. We could take all these resources, we could automate everything, we could have people just kind of hanging out and doing their fucking thing. But God forbid, one guy might be lazy and get away with doing nothing. So they'd rather have 9 fucking people, they have everything upside down. Like, the whole idea is like, well, if one person might get away with some bullshit, well, then 9 of us have to suffer. Fuck that shit. Fuck these people.
Yeah.
Seriously, like, everything is fucking twisted with these people that I can't wrap my mind around it anymore. You can see me like
well, but what upsets me isn't these people, it's the people who think more like us that keep going along with it because they feel like they don't have any choice.
Or they don't have the power to change it. Or they just kind of skate through life and say, you know what, at this point it hasn't affected me in such a way that it's like I can kind of skate by and do what I want and still have a decent life.
But can't you? I mean,
now anymore, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't anymore. You can't even, it's reaching a point where something has to be done by average Joes. Like me, like a guy who's just kind of skating through, like, I do my thing, I this, that, and the other, and like I get involved politically when I can here and there, but now it's just like, no, this is too much, man. Too much, gone too far. There was a social contract even with these sociopaths for a long time. Like, give us a fucking crumb and a bone once in a while. We'll shut the hell up. But you couldn't even do that. You couldn't even fucking do that. Now you got to be all up in our life and take everything. So it's over.
But don't take it too seriously. But do.
But you understand what I'm saying?
Like,
that's how far it's gotten. the social contract is broken with these capitalist pigs, and and they don't care. I obviously don't care, and they're trying to brainwash more people into believing in this bullshit. But yeah, I mean, I guess the only other point, it just as a reminder, in case anybody watching hasn't been paying attention, but you happen to stumble across us, I don't know how anyways, assuming that's the case, keep in mind that Abrego is not an isolated incident. It is the one that is being highlighted most at the moment, but unfortunately, it is one of an increasing number of similar incidents. Right. And when you have, things like this happening right now, right? And we know what they're doing with, with the data collections, with these, with Musk being involved, and Thiel and all these other guys, and even at his inauguration, he had these clowns sitting behind him, all these tech billionaires who basically own all our data, know everything about us. And now RFK trying to gather the data about everybody who's got autism. And now, is this getting to conspiracy land? I don't know, man, because what's next? The rhetoric that's coming out of these people's mouths is like how some people just don't deserve to live. That sounds eerily familiar.
Yeah.
Who doesn't deserve, they want to take away Social Security. They want to extend, if you can't produce for the capitalist system, you don't deserve to live. Period, is where they're going with this shit.
Well, and keep in mind when we say things like they're trying to take away Social Security, the actual act of taking the money out of the fund for Social Security, I don't see that necessarily happening anytime soon. But it doesn't matter, because what they have already done is made it much more difficult for people who are trying to pull from Social Security to do so.
That's the first step.
Yeah.
They will take the money.
Well, right, but
and I don't see
my point is what they already have done is noteworthy.
Right, that's just the stepping stone.
Yeah,
they will take it. They're coming for it, and they will take it, and they'll find an excuse, and nobody can stop them at that point. There's nothing no one can do about it. Anyone can do about it. So basically, yeah, if you're not in their lie, they want you dead. As the movie The Thin Red Line said at the end. They either want you in their lie or they want you dead. That's it. So, and that's the way it's heading. And when they get on there and they try to appeal to any type of sensibility, or that they have any concern for people or anyone, don't let them fool you. It's a mask. They're trying to pretend to be humans when they're actually just.
Well, the good part about that is that they've gotten lazier and lazier about actually trying to pretend very effectively.
Right. Well, the mask is off.
Yeah, and that's another way of putting it, yeah.
And the only people that are following this are the people who benefit from this, white men.
Or the people who have been indoctrinated for so long that they just...
Oh, they're brainwashed.
Yeah, or they're brainwashed.
Yeah, so, people that are in a trauma bond, women and minorities who fall for this stuff. Or somewhere in their twisted brain, they're just as opportunistic as anyone else, think that's never going to come to them or happen to them. And it will. It will. So, yeah, don't think you're going to get away with it. And believe me, in the backdoor chambers, if you're a minority or woman, you're not one of them. You might be going along for the ride right now, and you're a useful tool for them, a useful idiot for them, but you ain't one of them. You ain't never going to be one of them. And in the recesses of their mind, they know you don't want to know what they think of you. So, yeah, that's the bottom line of it. So, yeah. So that's, and the reason that this, I get so animated about this one is because this is really the heart and the core of the matter of being able to just take people and send them into concentration camps. Wow.
Yeah.
That's infuriating, and everybody should be just going crazy about this right now. And then not listening to the order of Supreme Court. And if this doesn't go unchecked, we're in for a lot of trouble in the days ahead. We'll see what happens. Maybe all this screaming, maybe all this noise, maybe all this frustration that obviously I'm showing, it's going to resonate with people, and it's going to hopefully, and then they'll say, you were over. See, I told you overblew it all along. It's like, well, how do you know? Maybe all the screaming stopped them.
And there have been a number of things like that. I think, fingers crossed, if we're really, really lucky at global warming, it'll be kind of like that, where it won't be so bad because we actually did something.
Right.
The whole Y2K stuff, I still believe that part of why it wasn't such a big deal is because there were a lot of people that did a lot of work to try and fix the.
Or when they said the ozone layer was supposed to fall apart and it didn't. Well, yeah, we stopped up CO2s. We did all kinds of crap.
Yeah,
so it
right.
wouldn't
You
fall
get my
apart
point.
as quick as
Yeah.
it did. You know,
But that's the problem with problems like that is that you always have one side that is like, see, it wasn't that bad. Yeah, it wasn't that bad because we took it seriously, not because it wasn't so bad. Just
exactly. So, but you know, those are the people who couldn't reason themselves into doing anything to begin with. So don't reason with them after the fact.
right.
You can't reason. You can't use reason and logic on somebody who makes a decision that's not based on reason and logic. It's not going to work. So, what can you appeal to? I don't know.
That's a darn good question.
I don't know what to do anymore. But no, I guess ranting on our little channel here for a couple hundred people, if they even watch the whole thing, I don't know. But it's cathartic for us, I guess.
Yeah. We usually get a couple hundred per episode. Sometimes that see it. So
anyways, yeah. I guess we're going to end this one, and I think we'll do one last one. Just try to like decompress from all this energy all this steam we're fucking.
Something non-political. Yeah.
Non-political, try to make it a little lighter. You know, kind of. I don't know, man. I know I laugh a lot, whatever. You know, it's not funny, but it's kind of a coping mechanism.
Well, I keep saying if you don't laugh, you cry. So
yeah, exactly. It's like the only thing that keeps me sane is just like the absurdity of it. Sometimes it's just.
And you can't literally walk outside and just pick a random person and start wailing on them. I mean, put you in guard.
That would be the right
going for that. It doesn't work.
You know.
Oh well, I can say it in our next segment because we're going to go into non-political. But.
All right, we'll talk. We'll be back.